channel in anyway. All right. Hello, everyone. This is your guest, Sarah. We're going to be talking on a few things, but I would like to just shout out to these companies. Um, I'd like to talk about a couple of important things today, and that is a highlight on mothers. This conversation not usually talks about into our society most often how mother get along with life. We just talk about the good and the bad and the ugly, but we do not talk about the struggle a lot. We don't talk about the struggle a lot, a lot more. We just need to highlight on it here and there. Let's talk about postpartum. What our parents go through, what parents go through for postpartum, doing postpartum, what mothers go through, what father goes through, because a family has to do with the mother, the father, and the children. If the father is not supportive of the mother, it's going to be harder on the mother. If the children is not supportive of the mother, it's also going to be difficult for the mother to navigate. With postpartum, our parents, our mother, woman turns to go to the hospital doing conceptions, and the pregnancy is taken care of from time of discovery until birth. The belly is going to care for the babies within the woman. The woman herself, which is the mother, and the child is going to be well taken care of. Everything is going to be awesome throughout the process. But the unfortunate part that we haven't highlighted is there time wherein our mothers leaving the hospital, or woman leaving the hospital, and they have a specific care tailored to their mental health? I don't know. Sometimes our medical professionals or practitioners comes into talks about maybe they have to see symptoms. Maybe they see the woman crying and then they wants to intervene. They come in with postpartum kids and help, stuff like that. But if they don't see the ladies crying or showing any kind of sign of depressions, they will ask these questions and they will be done. There is not such care that I've seen a woman that has tell me, I did have this amount of care in the hospital, or in a birth setting, they told me how to shower. Or when you go home, you should shower on time. You should try to get some rest. You should try to, when you care for the baby, you should do this and do that. Most often, when the woman giving birth in the hospital or in a birth center or whatever society is being tailored to every society, sometimes the baby has their own team of care and the woman has her own team of care. That go vice versa in some places. One team care for both mother and child. Some country, in some places, the father is involved within the birth care. In some country, the father is outside the labor room or outside the care. They just come in and go back, and then at the end of the day, they carry the kid, they carry the mother home. But I'm going to say this universally because women are suffering with these situations. Most often, when our children is being born, child is being born onto a parent, you notice that the mother, the pediatricians or the nurses and the doctors or the healthcare professionals and, the medical professionals as a whole, or people who specialize in these areas, they tend to teach the mother how many times to feed the child, whether it's 2 to 3 times per day, or whether it's every 2 3 hours. Feed the child, especially when the child is young. Feed the child every 2 to 3 hours. Some of them will say when the child grow up to certain stages, you should feed them every 3 to 4 hours. Or it just depends on the person who caring for the child, the baby, and the doctor will give instruction based on the needs of the child, whether the child is a full term child, or a child that was born in like a premature. It all depends. But some cases, it depends. Again, everything is stated up based on the needs and the cares of the child and the well-being, of the child and the mother. But when mother is actually living, mother within the hospital to care for the needs of the mother, like cater to the health, make sure the mother is not having all the medical complications before leaving the hospital, which is great, or before leaving the birth center, to make sure the mother is stabilized and well enough. And if they sometimes see symptoms of the mother, they try to, or like mental symptoms, they try to care for the mother. But what we're talking about today, we're trying to talk, let's make this normal. This is not normal into our society. We're not making this as a talk. This talk is like a taboo. It's not something we talk about a lot. Do we actually think that our mothers should be taught how to care for themselves when leaving the hospital, especially new mothers, new parents, first-time parents? Do we actually think that it will be helpful for a new mothers or a new parent, or even parent who had like 2 3 children? Do you think that these kind of tools will be helpful for us as a woman or women who wants to have kids? Do you think even people who doing surrogates, or people who having their children outside their body, do you think this is a discussions we should be talking about, that we should highlight about how our mothers or how parents should care for the woman who's going to take care of that child, especially giving birth, or new parents who doing surrogate or carrying a newborn baby home, to be careful. How to tell the parents, when you feed the child every 2 to 3 hours, or when you feed the child every 3 to 4 hours, mothers, I want you to rest. Or caregiver for the child, I want you to rest. Rest, because postpartum depressions, anxiety, if you don't care for the mother or the caregiver of that child, do you know that insanities can turn upside down if they do not know how to care for that baby? Because newborn is demanding. Newborns are demanding. They want to wake up every now and then. They want to eat on demand, because they are growing children. They are sweet, they are cute and beautiful, but our babies need the parents to survive at that age, and they are so demanding, very demanding, that they don't sleep. That night and that days are messed up. As a new mom, as a new parent, if you do not know how to care for your child at such an age, you stress out. All right, let's talk about the woman first. Women that give birth within their body, like you carry the pregnancy and you actually give birth with the baby. Let us not talk about the caregiver, or let us talk about surrogate parents, because surrogate parents also go through the same stress. Excuse me. Surrogate parents also go through the same stress. It's nothing different. I'm not saying that, it's all about having. No, I'm not saying that. Surrogate parents also go through the same issues. Even you are not a surrogate parent, even when you are adopting a child, it's also demanding. But let us consider this situation now to a woman who carried a baby from within her belly and give birth to the child. The hormones level is all crazy at that moment. The hormones is going crazy, that our body is exhausting too much of energy and it releasing, the stress level. Everything is just upside down at that moment. Should we say a woman, especially newborn, new parents, both the husband, because if the men support, if the men know how, or the husband or the boyfriend or the fiancé or the partner or the domestic partner, if either of them gets to know how to care for the woman, the mother during postpartum, is going to be much helpful to that man knowledge, because most men doesn't have the knowledge how to care for their women after giving birth. No. Some men has the experience, but some men don't implement the experience. But let us just stress on these things now. Let us just talk about it. Let us encourage this in our healthcare system, wherein we will bring this teaching on site, wherein we can teach our maternity parents, our surrogate parents, our caregiver, our adoption parents, how to care. When you come from the hospital, you get a lot of advices from the friends, the family. Oh, you should sleep, you should rest, you should take everybody giving advice here and there. That alone is a stress. That alone, it is a stress for that parent. It is a stress. Okay, I understand that the situation can be rampant sometime, right? But if just one person, the practitioners at the hospital, just go ahead and just give this instructions and teach the mother, okay, you care for the child. It's time to rest. Take rest. Take your bath. Shower, eat when you have to eat. When the baby goes to sleep. If you get family around to help, let the family comes in and help. These are very, very important information a parent can have. It's more than giving food or giving clothes to the child. It's more than anything, because that woman that her hormone level is going up is going to need it. That surrogate mother is going to need it. If they are new parents and they do not know, they're going to need it. That father who's going to be with that woman, he going to burn out, because once the woman is burned out, emotions starts to arise. The child is not going to be at peace. The mother is not at peace. The father is not going to get rest, and the entire family home, whether if they have additional children, is going to be a problem. Just talking about it, teaching, even if the person already has experience, let us talk about it a little more. Let us talk about it a little more. It's hard. It's hard in the parenting stage, especially first time parent. It's even hard to the parents who have had a lot of kids. It's hard to parents who have had kids and waited so long because they don't want to go into the same stress and waited that long before having kids again. Let's say, quote unquote, a parents who just coming in the game or who returning to the game. So let's talk about it. When we see our mother struggling, whether it's a surrogate mother, it doesn't matter how you give birth to the child or you work on the child in your home. It's good we just normalize having these conversations with our doctors. Even our doctors don't help us with the conversation. Let us bring it out. I know it's stressful during the times where I stays in the hospital or at a birth care setting. Those are stressful moments. You don't learn everything, and there are extra activities and help resource out there that it can give you, especially for breastfeeding a child, giving the child food through bottle. If you're feeding a child through bottle, giving formula, there's so many activities, so many information. And trust me, if you reach out to maternity doctors and staff members, it's right on top. They are right on top. They are absolutely right on top. But we don't talk about they will care for the depression if they start seeing symptoms of depressions. But the tools to avoid the depression when the mother just gave birth, how to care for herself. That's the one we don't talk about much. Oh, learn how to rest. Try to shower, because I'll tell you it's hard in the school of parenting, because some children will make you not to shower in a day. Some children, you will work from 0 to 100, you will work all day. You will feed that child 3 to 4 hours, or you feed the child 2 to 3 hours. You will feed other kids in the home. You will take care of the husband because he has to eat. You will take care of everything within your setting. Some women just keep going, just keep going, just keep going, non-stop. But they never care for themselves. Some mothers will tell you, say, I barely showered in a day. Some mothers will say, I never eat too. Because they haven't had food to eat. They just picking, when they feed the kid, they pick over the food. When they're facing food, they pick over the food here and there. They never actually sit down and focus and to eat their own food. Not at early stage. If you don't have the ideas, you don't put yourself into additions, like you are not organized, and you don't have the information, the proper information, and you don't, especially when you're a single parent, or you're a parent who have children, parent that doesn't have additional family like auntie, uncles, relatives around, or parents who are vulnerable, who don't have enough relatives to actually stay and help that situation. Those are the ones that suffer a lot. And postpartum anxiety, boom, it's a deal. It will come out. Depression will come out. And some women, when they get into postpartum depression, they don't come out of it. It becomes psychosis. It becomes postpartum psychosis. They do not come out of postpartum depression. Some of them go into postpartum anxiety. It increases the other mental illness. Bipolar show up. Paranoid, they become highly paranoid. You don't want to touch that baby, they're so protective. And if the mother is not stable mentally, they're not stable for the rest of the family. Or if the caregiver is not stable, the primary caregiver for that child in general is not stable mentally, everybody else, the home can be at normal stage. Whoever is the primary caregiver for their home, it's hard. I'm not talking about the father who leaving to go to work, or the other parents who leaving to go to work. It's universal. Whether you are a mother, or you're a bisexual, or you're, whether you're doing surrogate, the primary parent who's taking care of that child is always stressed if they do not have a routine put in place, or they do not have enough, or the learning through the process as they go. Do you know some mothers don't even shower when they newborn, especially the ones who's new in the game, who doesn't have enough parents around, who the mother-in-laws and the father-in-laws or the aunties, that mothers are not around to even care for them. It becomes very difficult, very difficult. What can we do? What are routines we put in place to help? What are routines? There are so many routines you can put in place. Let's talk about a routine another day. Why don't you hop on this channel and click the channel, subscribe, and the next time you see me out here, I'll be talking about things that we can do to help ourselves at home. But I want us all to start to talk about it to our medical professional. Let us talk about it. Let us have conversation about it, how to help our primary caregiver of our daughters and our sons and our relative about our mother. Postpartum is real. If you help your wife, or you help your daughter, or if you help your family member who just gave birth to a child, who their hormones level is all over the place, starts to tell them how to care for the child. Ask for the help from the medical professional. How can my child take care of themselves at home? That's the first thing. You guys have said everything about the baby, but how can they care for themselves? How can they care for themselves? Even with the baby is there. We all know the baby is always going to be careful, because the baby is a newborn baby. The dad is there, the families are there, everyone is there. Everybody is there for the baby. The baby is, regardless, the baby is going to care for, being careful. But what about the mother? Who is there caring for the mother beside the mother herself? Who is there? You know, our people back there would take the mother in the bathroom, shower the mother, but that will only last for some time. Try to give the mother newborn food for her to eat. Again, that's going to be for some time. Sometimes they keep the mother going, sometimes 3 months. By the time the mother hits 3 months, everybody going to their houses. Sometimes the in-law stays around for 2 months, everybody going to the houses. Sometimes the in-law stays around for 3 months, 6 months, everybody going to the houses. Sometimes the mother of the parents who gave birth still around for some time gone. But the rest of the story is that. That's our people back there. But what's about us in the Western world? People that live outside. You know, every continent and every place has its own routine. So I want us to think about it, talk about it. It's free. Let's talk about it. Drop it in the chat. Speak your mind, and let's talk about it. Let's just follow. Let's just be respectful and honest about it. Share our viewpoints. Share our concerns. And yes, I think yes. Let me know, what do you think? Let me know, what do you think? This is a conversation that has to normalize and talk about it. The next time you see me, I'm going to talk about some way that could help at home. And yes, have a good day. And I see you all soon. Bye-bye.